water or something else. So it's like any policy mechanism. If the people making mass transportation policy never ride the bus, of course you're going to get bad mass transit policy. If the people making housing policy live in mansions and gated communities and never walk like by my office at 16th and Mission where there's people sleeping out on the streets and shooting dope and stuff, of course you're going to have bad housing policy because there's not a feedback loop. The people who make our energy policy don't even pump their own gas. The chauffeur does that. So of course you got bad energy policy. So we've got to change the structure of the system. It's not just this policy, that policy. It's get into the sausage factory and change the machinery that's sending out the bad sausage, the bad legislation. Second crisis is the environmental crisis. Every major biological system is either in rapid decline or outright collapse. Our groundwater supplies are being depleted and poisoned. The ocean levels from global warming are rising. Don't buy any property in Key West, okay? That's underwater. And if I do fundraising, I go to Boca Raton, Florida, these rich Republicans trying to coax money for global exchange. And I say, the guys are, oh, I'm doing this development here. I'm going to build 30 condos. I said, it's going to be underwater in about 20, 30 years, you know. Huh? What? What are you talking about? I said, well, you should read this stuff. Read the reinsurance industry journals. The companies that insure the insurance companies, they're worried. They're worried because they're going to lose big time, right? They're the ones who lost on September 11th, the ones who insure the insurance companies. The polar ice caps are melting. The glaciers are all in retreat. The climatologists estimate that over the next century, our average temperature on the planet could go up as much as 10 degrees. The difference between the average temperature now and the middle of the last ice age 10,000 years ago is about 6 or 7 degrees. So we're talking about in 1 century changing the temperature more than it changed over 10,000 years. Nature cannot adapt to that kind of thing. So you see invasive species, you see bugs, malaria-type mosquitoes, etc., invading areas that they weren't in before, crops not being able to grow. Actually, the insect population is probably the most sensitive to temperature. But people forget about the ocean levels. 3/4 of the Earth is ocean. You raise the temperature of that ocean just a wee teeny little bit, you get this massive volume increase, not only in the size, the level of the ocean, but in the volatility of weather, because that's where our weather comes from, the evaporation of water to create clouds, etc., etc. So you see the intensification of storm activity. There was a storm last year in India, killed 10,000 people in 1 day. There was a storm a couple years ago that hit France, knocked down 5 million trees in 1 day. That's like 5 years of normal forestry logging in